when was the last time you ran a story with a poll that asked a simple question that determined whether or not someone was interested in real estate or not? And so you could do something like, hey, are you in your dream home right now?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the walkthrough. This is the most underrated, valuable marketing show / podcast in real estate history. I am Eric Simon, aka the Broke Agent, aka Dr. Klickstein, aka the Professor, because I'm about to take this audience to school. Get it, Jason? School with a K, huh?
I saw the Professor in Vegas last week, or I guess it was last month now, about 2-3 weeks ago, walking through Resorts World.
The basketball player?
Yeah, I thought that. Oh, you were talking a professor.
I'm a professor. I'm not the
like
and one mixtape guy,
that's
but that
who
guy's
I saw.
a legend.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of legends, I'm joined here by our great co-host, Jason Cassidy, aka the King of Coronado, aka the Sultan of Solana Beach, aka the Real Estate Man, aka Butch Cassidy, and the Sundance Kid.
Bang. Never heard that one before. I've never sold a home in Coronado. You know that?
So you're not the King of Coronado.
Not the King of Coronado. Coronado is one of the most expensive zip codes in the world, which makes sense why I've never sold there.
What's the average price point there? Is it like 4 million?
Yeah, it's the average. I don't know, probably 2 million plus for sure.
Well, it's a huge place for zonies to travel in the summer. We love Coronado. And we are joined here by one amazing returning guest from Philly, the marketing savant, mailer follow-up guru, president of Reminder Media, Luke Acree. Luke, how you doing today?
It is good to be back. Although I want Sultan in the intro, man. I was like, oh, the Sultan of what, you know?
The Sultan of Swipes is what I've been calling myself. Like, because I get swipes on carousels.
The Sultan of Sends, because he sends mailers.
There you go.
Ooh, bang. I like that. There we go.
It's great to be back. Love the show. Love you guys. So appreciate the opportunity.
Fantastic. And by the way, check out Luke's show, Stay Paid. He is doing a call-in show, which I just participated in, and it's an amazing marketing podcast. Might be the second most underrated podcast in real estate history. So make sure you check that out. All right. We have an amazing show for you today. First, we're going to do a quick breakdown of Taylor Swift's marketing genius and how you can use this in your real estate business. Then we are going to cover a shocking real estate survey that details how agents use social media and where the biggest opportunities are in marketing. And then we have 3, Jason, yes, 3 marketers of the week. Maybe you made it this week. We'll never know.
I haven't done anything that cool in the last couple of weeks, but we'll see.
You did have a great video where you were breaking down a reel announcement. You had the BAM hat on and you put on the real hat, which I thought was a great visual hook.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Byron called me out on that one, but it was like, look, it's like, it was like I was taking it. It's like mom and dad. It's my two roles there.
Of course. All right. Well, if you like the sound of this, make sure you obliterate that like button. We got almost 100 likes last week, Jason. The offer still stands to the audience, Luke. It's very simple. If this video gets 150 likes, all you got to do is press the like button right now. Leave a comment, something nice, maybe something social media savvy, something helpful, or it's a question you have. If you leave it a like, leave it a comment, we will do a free Zoom, Jason and I, for you in your office, because we're going to pick a winner from the comment section.
By the way, shout out to Emily McAllister, because I hadn't been looking at the stats just like weekly by weekly, but I noticed we hadn't had like a 2,000 view in probably about a month or two. Summer slowdown, it happens. And she busted right through that. She crushed it.
She crushed it. Shout out. Have you had Emily McAllister on, Luke?
Haven't. I need to. I haven't. No.
She's great. Hyper local content. She's huge on TikTok. She's got such a calming presence to her, just like a confident delivery. I need
that in my life. The people I tend to surround myself with are not calming.
Yeah, join the club. All right, so topic number 1, Taylor Swift. This will be quick, then we'll get into the survey because I know that's why you guys are here. Life of a Showgirl, okay? This is her new album release. She released it. It's coming out on October 3rd. But I want to emphasize what a marketing masterclass she put on. So my wife is a big Swiftie, so maybe that's why I'm so in tune with what is actually going on. But if you are online, you have seen the amount of attention that this person brings, and it's absolutely crazy. So basically, instead of just announcing that she's doing a new album, she did kind of a layered tease and build up. So she didn't just drop the news, she stacked different moments. So she had kind of a phase 1, which was the hype, where she released a clip with the New Heights podcast. It was Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce. and they had a clip about how she is going to be releasing her new album. We could actually play that clip right now, and then I'll break down why it was effective.
I wanted to show you something.
Okay. What do we got?
We got
a briefcase.
Yep.
Mint green with TS on it.
Yep.
What's in it?
This is my brand new album, The Life of a Showgirl.
TS12.
Yeah.
Okay. Guess how many views this has?
1 billion.
Almost. It's at like 200 million right now. 200 million reviews, which is ridiculous. So I just want to get into a little bit more of her marketing strategy. So, narrative control in the sense that she is the one in control of all this marketing. She had a clock or a timer on her website that was counting down this announcement, which I think is a really effective strategy. Anytime we're promoting some event or something, having that ticker in your Instagram stories was really effective. And then she had Easter eggs about kind of what is going to happen with her marketing. She changed the aesthetic. She changed her Instagram profile pic. She basically peppered in these little Easter eggs for her audience. And then the cross media domination, I thought, was really smart, where she just announced this on her boyfriend Travis Kelce's podcast, crossing into sports media where people like myself, Jason, and Luke are probably more likely to be. So I just thought it was brilliant by Taylor Swift. I know a lot of people hate her for no reason whatsoever.
I did see
she got like
something.
9 million views in like 13 hours or something like that. It's at 9.
Ridiculous.
It's probably more now, but it was like 9 million views this morning or whatever. And I was looking at it.
But she knows that she's going to get her Swifties are going to be all over it anyways. So that was actually, and maybe it's her boyfriend Travis, right? So obviously it's his podcast. So, but she even made like a self-deprecating joke there where she was like, there's nothing like that the sports podcast world wants to see rather than more of me. Like, she knows what she's doing.
She's self-aware.
Kind of. She was self-aware, like playing into it, but it's like, hey, she's already going to get the Swiftie crowd. Let's do this announcement over here in this whole other crowd. And it's probably going to double the juice.
100%. So if there's anything to take away from a real estate perspective, Luke, is there anything from that strategy, whether it's the timing of it in the sense of she had this clock above that was like counting down, or the cross culture promotion in terms of collabs?
Think about it. It's like like Taylor Swift she's at the height of stardom, right? And will go down as, one of the greatest of all time. And you go, even her, she built hype for herself. With her audience, right? So she was not ashamed to go, here's what's coming. I'm bringing something amazing, right? So you can take that as any business is never be ashamed to basically set expectations with your audience that I'm about to wow you. Like, I'm about to wow you with this thing that's about to come. And a lot of times we don't do that because we're too ashamed to even hype ourselves. And here you go, the biggest star in the world. She's still doing a countdown. She's still dropping little hints. I got something big coming. So think about that for what you do in your business, whether it's listings or whatever. How do you hype it?
Very true. And I think Neil Dingra said this at Forward, Jason. If you're not excited about the product or what you're talking about, then the audience is not excited. Totally. So to see her very emotional on this podcast talking about getting her music back and hyping up this album, you feel that energy too. So I think that's really important for content. I think the cross culture collaboration is something agents could take in terms of collabing with local businesses, collabing with people outside of your audience, whether it's on Instagram, physically using the collab button, or just going on other people's podcasts and just kind of cross-pollinating your audience with a lender's audience, a title rep's audience, a business's audience.
I've started to, so the first thing I thought of when we said we were going to talk about this was all the agents who do like coming soon stuff or like big announcement coming soon. And I'm like, this is not what you should be doing, where I switched brokerages to 3-day countdown. So you can say big announcement coming to tell everybody that you switched brokerages. That's not
the brokerage switching videos. I think they're hilarious.
Okay, so the actual announcement videos I'm okay with, like the creativity of like the announcement videos. It's the big announcement coming Tuesday. That's like a lazy version of this. But so aside from that, the cross pollination is really good. I'll let you know how this goes. But I had an idea to start to reach out to some. We always say local businesses, but there's some actual influencers here in San Diego that like my wife follows, and like these people that they're like renovating their house up in Rancho Santa Fe, and I don't know what they actually do for a career, but they have millions of followers on social, and I know how to check, and it's like pretty good engagement. And so I actually reached out to 3 or 4 of them and just said, hey, I'd be interested in doing like a collab. I'd love to come to your house and maybe do a Cribs style episode. We'll film it for you where you show off your house, and then I'm going to get it'll be a little bit cross promotion there. So I'll let you know how that goes. But yeah, cross promotion and into something that's not a real estate related audience is the move.
That's really smart. That's hit the like button if you enjoyed that tip from Jason Cassidy. Get us to 150 right now. That is what Ryan Serhant has been doing for years, right? Whether he does it with Mr. Beast or Jay Shetty or just Quavo. Exactly. Like he's always doing this because he knows that their audience is completely different from his, and it elevates his audience because now these people are aware of him. So that's a great takeaway. If you're an agent, don't just look at the local businesses, look for local food influencers, look for people with local followings, 5, 10,000 followers that you could even maybe pay and say like, hey, I'll give you $200. We'll do this kind of collab post with, right? Like, would you pay these people?
Yeah, the first one I can't do because her rate was 10 grand, and I was like, I'm not quite there yet. But there's probably some micro influencers that I could probably reach down to and do the same thing. Yeah, like I didn't even think about food influencers. There's got to be, I know there's 5 or 6 chefs like Iron Chef type level people down here. I'm sure that there's probably a video there where I go meet them at their restaurant, but then it's not like a food tour, but I'm just interviewing them about maybe the architecture of their restaurant, something somewhat related, but not,
that's a great idea.
Not interviewing like their dish per se, but like something like that.
Absolutely. See how we pull gold out of topics, Luke? Taylor Swift, and now we just evolved it and weaved it into real estate. Exactly.
Swipes,
Exactly. And here's another thing, just because Taylor Swift's going to be in the news here for the next couple of weeks, Taylor Swift audios on your content. Maybe instead of Life of a Showgirl, which is her album name, it's Life of a Showing Agent.
I knew you were going to say
Got a little teaser for a BAMX social media post right now. Make sure you're in there.
I knew you were going to
All right.
say that.
That's the Taylor Swift content right there. Now to the meat. Okay. We just did a survey with Luke and Reminder Media. I'm going to share my screen right here, and we're going to break this down. This is from over 700 agents, and the majority of them, I believe, are, here we go. Pull this up. This is the what's actually working in social media survey. So we had 20% of them were team agents, 11% of them were brokers, and then 68% of these were solo agents, just to give you guys the crowd. In terms of their experience level and distribution, 50% have been in the business 10 years. And then the next biggest category is 4 to 5 years, 14%.
That one shocked me a little bit. Just because, not to say that I assume that your audience skews young, but to see that over half were 10 years or more in the business, that one shocked me a little bit.
Well, it's a cross-pollination with the Reminder audience. So the Reminder audience,
I get it.
And all the old ladies love me, Jason.
I was like a little bit shocked. I was expecting more new people, but this is good.
Okay, so one of the main issues with agents is 35% of agents are struggling with consistency on social media, including Jason, who just raised his hand. So that was a huge takeaway. Plus, only 18% are posting daily on social. Only 18%. So, Luke, what are your thoughts on this in terms of how agents can improve consistency and that being one of the main problems?
Yeah, I think 2 things that I've seen is, and this is with our client base too, is like there's 2 routes to go. One is you have to actually get ahead in your planning. So you fail to accomplish things that you don't have a plan to accomplish them with. So a lot of people will get on our show at Stay Paid and talk about batching their content, right, or putting out a calendar. So in order to do that, I always take you back even further than that and go, what are the content pillars that you actually want to talk about? So in order to know what type of content you want to do consistently, you got to know the pillars that you want to, talk about. So that might be your faith, that might be your family, it might be actually the real estate stuff that you're doing. But I would tell people, go through the exercise of developing your content pillars, which are maybe 3 to 5 things that you want to be known for. Then go through the exercise of actually doing a content calendar. And you don't have to do this because you can leverage, BAMX, you can leverage Reminder Medias of the world to help you do this. But you can do it yourself, sit down and actually plan out, and that will help you with your consistency. And then last but not least, then get some automation involved where you're curating some content but not all content. So it's like, Jason, if you do incredible content because I follow you, but you're maybe saying you're not consistent enough, right?
Yep.
It's like, well, you should be having some curated content, not a ton, but some curated content, but make it more education based because your stuff is going to be way more quality. And then now you're consistent because you don't use content. Like, the biggest problem with automation that I see is people turn on a Reminder Media automation tool or whoever, and then that's all they do. And it's like, no, you can't do that. It's supposed to be a subsidy, not a full strategy. And that's like what I would encourage agents to do, is start with your pillars, because that's what's really going to give you the stability of what you need to post. Most people don't even go through that exercise.
Here's something to scare you, Jason. You ready for this? I saw this morning. So I was watching an Instagram video from Adam Mosseri, the Instagram CEO.
Shout out to the boss.
Shout out to the boss. He's the real Sultan right there, the Sultan of Instagram. He said that there's a myth out there that you have to, post a certain amount of times. He said nothing about frequency. Like, there's some accounts that grow posting once a week, for some that are posting 6 or 7 times per week. But he did say that your account can take a hit if you do take a couple weeks off to a month off on Instagram, because then they don't have the data on you. So if you're constantly forcing content into the algorithm, they know who to feed it to based off of previous posts and the data from your account. So if you take a long hiatus, and a lot of people do these kind of social detoxes, it can really hurt you on the comeback because Instagram is figuring out who the hell you are again.
So I was going to share, I meant to text this to you yesterday, but I didn't. And so in my Facebook notifications, which you can't really see here because it's blown out, there's this notification that popped up second and says, it was like a party emoji, and said, "We increased your distribution because you consistently posted high quality content."
Wow. So this is on Facebook.
It's on Facebook, but Facebook owns Instagram. "We increased your distribution because you consistently posted high quality content." So it was like almost a confirmation that, as you continue to consistently post good stuff, they're going to show it to more people, not just because you're putting out quantity, but because you were consistent. I thought that was interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, that's great that they're encouraging that. Another way to stay consistent, like I've always said, is write yourself a little Instagram prescription that you could follow for a month, 3 to 5 times per week, 1 story per day. Keep it consistent like that. And that way you could kind of go back to a plan. If that plan doesn't work, then you switch it up in the future. Okay. So key takeaway number 2 from this survey: personal content is driving by far the most engagement. So personal posts at 35% are driving more engagement, second only to hyperlocal content, and then to property tours at another 9.37%. So personal posts are getting by far the most engagement. Luke, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, it makes the most sense. Like, this is what I see, obviously, with my Instagram as well. So I'm not a real estate agent, but it translates. It makes sense because ultimately you're going to Instagram to connect with people, not necessarily to be sold something. And so I would encourage people, to think about in your personal post, what it really is it's your authentic self. And every time you get into listing mode or real estate mode, I find this for me at Reminder Media, it's like every time I get into content mode, I'm a different person. And I try so hard. It's like almost like you get on stage as like you're acting. And I'm trying so hard to break that, but it is so difficult. So it's like trying to figure out, okay, how do I share about my business through a personal type way? That's what I'm trying to figure out right now, is going, if personal posts are the ones that get engagement, how do I make even my hyper local content personal? So if instead of posting about a restaurant, it's literally when my family and me are at the restaurant, I take a picture of my family and me, and then maybe I talk about the restaurant, but it's within the lens of a personal post. Like, that's what I'm starting to think about for myself, even, of how I post, is going, okay, personal posts are the most authentic. Every time I try to do something else, it just comes across as, I don't know, just disconnected, almost like you're putting on a persona. And so it's like, how do I make personal in everything that I'm doing?
Yeah. I love that. Personal to hyperlocal. Don't talk about businesses that you don't actually attend, or restaurants that you don't go to, or events that you're not interested in. It should be all stuff that you care about. Jason, I saw on your Instagram story a couple days ago, and this resonated with me. It was you just playing with your kids and like wrestling them to that music. I bet you got a ton of
to Freebird.
To Freebird. Yeah. Luke, I don't know if you saw this, but like
I didn't see this one.
Like I watched it it was cute. You know what I mean? Like it was Jason playing with his kids, and it was like this kind of like hectic Freebird song to it. And I'm sure that connection, I don't even have kids, but I'm sure that connection with other people that had kids made Jason just so much more likable and engaging than the traditional content that he does.
Yeah,
so.
the DMs popped off on that one. But yeah, it was just a glimpse in, and it's always a little bit weird because when you're in a moment with your kids or you're doing something, it is a little bit weird to say, let me go grab my camera. Now my phone was with me, so it's not like a weird thing, but I was actually oftentimes I'm just setting up a camera. Yeah. Oftentimes I'm just recording for my own, like, you know what I mean? Just recording fun stuff with them. And then that one, every, fifth or sixth time, I'm like, man, that would actually be a good, just a good story just to show them having fun though, more so than anything. And then, Jet, my oldest son, had just discovered, he loves rock music, and so he had just discovered the last 5 minutes of Freebird where the guitar solo is just riffing, and so like we were just like listening to that song like just moments before that, so he wanted to, or like I put it as the song on that.
I think it ties in well to consistency too, because what I have found now that I'm like, wow, Luke, you need to do way more personal stuff and everything like that. I found that it isn't authentic when I'm just randomly going and grabbing my camera to now post a personal post, because it's almost like a fake personal post.
Yeah.
Versus if I was just consistently just posting about my day all day long. And we know the people who do it so well, like the Marie Boatsmans, the Shannon Gillette's, the people like that, they just do it so well. They're constantly on there. And it's like, if I constantly just post about what I'm doing, then I'm not just awkwardly once in a while posting a personal post. And so it plays into the consistency of like, you got to be consistent, and that will make your personal post even easier, because now you won't feel weird, posting a random picture, because you're just doing it all the time.
100% agree. And I kind of feel like the personal posts, especially when there's kids involved, I'm not going to tell anybody what to do, but it feels like just grabbing the phone, doing BTS stuff in that works a lot better, because if you have like a videographer video with your kids in it, it's like, did you tell them what to say?
Yeah.
Like, how did you tell them where to stand? I always like, I don't know if you guys got these, but not like when the people would have kids do their ad reads back in like the 90s. Up in Sacramento, there was this one jeweler, and it was like he'd have his kids in it, and he's like, buy jewelry from my dad and stuff like that. And I always hated that. I'm like, stop using your kids in your marketing. So like, if you have a professional video with your kids in it, I'm always suspect immediately. But if you just do behind the scenes with your phone showing your day-to-day life and your kids happen to be in it, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
And also, if you don't have kids, you could just turn yourself into an AI generated baby and then do all of your content as a baby, which is also always very effective.
It's a broke
agent
move right there.
Absolutely it is. All right. So that is personal content. That's what drives the most engagement. Second to hyperlocal, second to property tours as the third highest engagement. And we'll release this survey to everybody. We'll drop it in the show notes. But if I remember correctly, I think 6 or 5% was humor content. So humor content right now, not even getting shared nearly as much or engagement as personal, hyperlocal, and property tours.
Yeah, what stands out here is like the 35%, 36% personal posts is the highest number. And next closest is hyperlocal content, which we preach from the business side of things as the best things to post. It's hyperlocal. That's not even 10%. And so like there, if this were to continue on, I didn't see the what's number 4 through 10, but you're getting down into 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. So another way to say this is that personal posts are 3x as good as second place, like not even close, probably 10x as good as the average. It's personal posts by far and away.
Combine the two, like Luke said, personal and hyperlocal. All right. So social is not replacing, what's SOI, Luke? Is that sphere of influence? Okay.
Eric.
I figured it was.
There you go.
I'm kidding.
You haven't been out of real estate that long, Eric. Come on. No.
All right. So this is insane. 43% of agents have received 0 leads on social media. 43% of agents. And then 8%, 8% are receiving. Now, the average leads per agent from social media are 8 leads. And then one person has received 150 leads on social media. So 43% not actually getting leads from it. So any tips on how agents could actually use their content to get more leads? Jason, I'll start with you.
Yeah. I mean, I'd imagine again, going back to the demographic of who took this test. And so like, I don't want to say it's older people, but if they've been in the business 10 plus years, they're probably 30s or later, which I mean, I'm 39. I'm not saying I've been in the business for 13 years.
I was like, dude, is 30 old now?
No, it's just like, it's not super, super young skewed. So it's a little bit older. Maybe they're just not using Instagram and social media well. And so they're just not getting a lot of leads from it. That's my, or you know what I mean? Like, again, I hate these kind of things sometimes, not the study itself, but if your sphere follows you on social and then they engage with you and then they call you but you mark it as sphere, but was the social what actually helped them stay top of mind? So it all conflates exactly together. Right. It's tough to actually say. So my guess is, and we'll get into this in a second, but what those people are assuming is that they didn't run lead ads and get leads, but that doesn't mean social didn't help them.
Yeah, I think that's super well said. I think also on social media, I think you can strategically get what I would say are top of funnel or middle of funnel leads way more than someone like a Zillow based lead where the person is literally ready to see a property. Those can happen too. But we all know when was the last time you ran a story with a poll that asked a simple question that determined whether or not someone was interested in real estate or not? And so you could do something like, hey, are you in your dream home right now? Do you know right now what your home is worth? I'm taking a poll. Do you know what your home is worth? And anybody who responds to that poll, no, that's a perfect opportunity to engage them in the DM. That is technically a lead. It's just a top of funnel lead. Top of funnel meaning they're not really aware they have a problem, but you're moving them into the curious phase and the awareness phase, which is middle of funnel. And then ultimately we want to get them down to bottom of funnel. So I think probably for a lot of these people, you're hitting the nail on the head, Jason. They're probably not doing social extremely well. And they're not thinking of it through the lens of going, hey, social is first a brand awareness to my sphere. So if I'm getting more sphere deals, it is working. Second, it should be a top of funnel lead generator. So how often am I doing polls or things where I'm like, hey, comment below, in order to get this lead magnet or whatever. And I know you guys have a ton of content on that. And I just don't think they're probably doing that, but those are some things that you should start implementing right away. A guide to your area of restaurants, polls to test if people know the value of their home. Do they want to know the value of their home? Not even polls. You can link right now to links, literally. Hey, find instantaneously what your home's worth. If you could receive a cash offer on your home right now, would you be interested? And do it through the guys. Hey, I was, talking to one of my friends the other day and they asked me this and I figured, hey, I'll throw this out to everybody. And that works really well.
I would venture to say that if you think about the grand scheme of agents, there's a million agents or whatever license is. I would venture to say that 10% is 100,000. I bet you it's less than like 1% of agents are actually executing social media for leads at a very, very, very high level, running guides with mini chats, running lead form ads. You know what I mean? Like I would venture to say that probably actually less than 1% of the agent population is actually doing social media for leads at a very high level. But I bet you the remaining 48% that make up this list that said they got a lead are probably just doing, normal posts that they see on social and stuff like that. And then maybe just pick up leads. But I bet you, again, going back to it, I bet you their sphere still follows them. And then they get business because of what they're putting on social just from their sphere coming back. And then they just don't count it as social.
Remember, the key with marketing always is you're trying to build a brand. Like the greatest companies that stand the test of time, they build a brand. So for the real estate agent, that brand is confirmed when you get referrals, when you get people coming to you, but you're trying to build a brand. And so most marketing, whether it's email, postcards, magazines, social media, billboards, shopping carts, think about it. They're all brand centric, way more than direct response. You got Zillow that came onto the scene that they built a brand. This is what people don't understand is Zillow has spent billions of dollars and built a brand so you don't have to. And then they just charge you thousands of dollars for the one lead that they generated off their brand that they built. And so that's like, I just wouldn't underestimate that just because you're not getting leads doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. Totally. It's right. Just, you got to focus on the brand. And I think most of them get that because they've been in the business for 10 years. So they obviously know it's about brand, but.
All right, quick little break here to put you onto something that's actually helping agents dominate online. If you're paying attention to this survey, this is what agents need. If you haven't heard it, this is a platform that gives agents a free profile that boosts their visibility on Google search and maps, and it is called experience.com. We're talking 93% of users showing up on the first page of Google from one dashboard. You can manage all of your entire online presence, collect and showcase reviews, track customer sentiment, and even share client feedback straight to social. And it is also gamified because reputation management is way more fun when there is a scoreboard. So if you want to show up higher, look better online, and actually control your digital reputation, hit the link in the description below to claim your free profile. And a lead can mean so many different things too. Like a lead does not just have to mean someone raised their hand and said, I want to buy a house now because I saw this video. A lead is an email capture, right? A lead is a DM that is a conversation that started because, like Luke said, a story you posted. And we're going to tee this up here. We're not going to play it right now, but we'll add it in. There's an agent out in Spokane. Her name is Alyssa Kernut. Jason, I don't know if you've heard of her. She posted.
I'm surprised you didn't go there when he said hyper local with your kids or hyper local with your personal stuff.
I was gonna go there.
I saw your your lip quiver a little bit. I'm like, here it goes, because she does such a good job at that.
So she did an amazing post, and we'll splice it in here. But she said once a month, I send out an email that is just a quick to the point, whatever, on Spokane. And it's an Instagram story, and she has a sign me up, which is the question box, but she just changed the language. It says sign me up, and people just drop in her email right there. That's leads, right? Yes. I bet she got 10, 15 people saying, I want the Spokane email once a month. That's not very salesy. I love Alyssa's content. She's built so much through this hyper-local lens. Let me just drop my email in there. And there's no mini chat involved. It's an Instagram story. It takes 5 seconds to film. So we'll play it right now.
Once a month, I send out an email that is just a quick, to the point update on what is going on in the Spokane real estate market. Today we're talking rates. PSA dropped to the lowest point they've been at in more than a year last week. We're talking how long on average it's taking homes to sell, what is preventing homes from selling in Spokane right now. Lots of good stuff. So if you would like added to the list so that you can see that when it gets sent out later today, drop your email right here. I'll make sure that you get added.
Key takeaway number 3, only 24% of agents are checking their analytics weekly on social, and 23% never check at all. So nearly half the industry is missing insights and not actually figuring out what works and what doesn't. So this really stood out to me because we are constantly preaching on this podcast to check your insights, whether it's on MailChimp or whatever you send your emails through, to see what the click-through rate is, what the open rate is. Go on your Instagram every single time after you post it, swipe up on View Insights, because the analytics are improving on a daily basis. And if you're not doing that, you're not getting any data points as to what's working and what's not. So Instagram just added all these new data points. You ready for these? This is recently on Instagram Reels. So all you have to do is go to your most recent Instagram Reels. You click View Insights, and I'm going to just go from top to bottom. What's really effective? You have the likes, the comments, the shares, now the reposts, Luke. Which, have you started using these yet? The reposts?
I have not. I mean, I have seen them, but I have not started using them. Not me, no.
So I've done it a couple times on just agents posting funny content. I repost it on the Broke Agent account, or I'll repost a BAM post and it doesn't show up directly in my feed, but it's more likely to show up now because I did repost it. It works just like a share. You have watch time, which shows how many people or how long the post has actually been watched, cumulative. And then it also shows the average watch time, which I'd argue is extremely important. That shows when people dropped off in your video. Here is a new feature that just popped off, and we mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, when people liked your reel. So you could see when you're saying something that's interesting, when did the person actually physically decide to like this reel? Like you right now listening to this podcast, going to like this podcast and let me know that this is the right time to do it. And then you could see the audience breakdown of followers versus non-followers. Is this post reaching people outside of the people that already follow you? So there's so many important insights. And that 23% of agents are not even looking at these at all is a huge miss, in my opinion.
I don't look at them much. I'll be honest with it. And I think it's like when you don't have a ton of action, right? Like it's not like you'd say the average layperson, it feels like the insights are like whatever, right? Because if you have 1,000, 2,000 views and then it's showing you like 10% of this, 10% of that, it's like, okay. Is it that detailed? Do I really care? But then it does, because then you have one pop. And then I really like using the insights for like to get other ideas too. So if you have like this new one where it shows you when people liked, I've started to do that on my last 2 or 3 posts. And it's like, you almost have like a new reel idea. If something in the middle of your reel got a bunch of likes, then you can actually just go make another reel out of it, because you're seeing that that's what's engaging. So
Dude,
I
that's
do
a
like that
great
one.
point. I had not thought about that. That is
That's
a
really
great
good.
point.
YouTube does this now too. I don't know if you watch YouTube videos. You can hover over the play bar, and you can see where the most replayed is. It shows like where the traffic goes most replayed. I actually use it as like a cheat code if I'm watching a video, and then I can actually just fast forward to that part, because I know that that's where the action happens. So it's interesting, like, but it just gets right to the point. But I like these new insights.
And what a great idea of just knowing what content is popping. Like, you could even do that looking at other people's content and see where the replay is and go, okay, this is what actually people like to hear. What can I create on this? Yeah,
valid
that's
point.
really
Eric's
good.
talked about this before in the past, watching your the comments. A lot of times you can see I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I go to a funny Instagram reel or something, I'm just like immediately to the comments. When I see something funny, I got to go read the comments. And then the top 5 comments or so, they're the ones that are the most upvotes, like Reddit style. And it's like, oftentimes that's actually a good idea for more content, because that's like the controversial or the thing that is most relevant to the video. Yeah. So using like the comments, or in this case, if it's your video, using the most liked portion of your video could actually spark another video.
So another huge takeaway from social media lead gen, 25% of agents are generating the most leads on Facebook, 12% Instagram, and only 3% generating on YouTube.
This is why I think that people are conflating or like confusing like leads as like brand new people, because I guarantee you the people who use, or maybe just people aren't using YouTube, actually, that's what that probably is, because the people who crush YouTube have built mammoth businesses off of YouTube. You know what I mean? And so like maybe go ahead.
Look at this. This is huge. So primary social platforms for agents, 46.7% Facebook, 41% Instagram, then the next 2.76% LinkedIn, 2.3% YouTube, and only 0.9% on TikTok. To me, this is the most glaring portion of the study, Luke, because that YouTube number being at 2% for all we talk about is crazy low.
Yep. Agree, man. It really stood out to me as like, wow, there is such an opportunity for agents. And then I thought, well, why don't agents do it? And it's like, oh, well, yeah, of course, because YouTube takes the most work. Like you actually have to create a video and edit the video. And so there's a whole business there creating YouTube videos.
Big time. It's daunting.
That's another podcast. But honestly, it is interesting because like Acre Brothers Realty, right? My brother and the team, like we have not really gotten heavy on YouTube, but one of our agents has started for us, Adam Steinspring, and he's really put in a labor of love into it and starting to consistently post. And he finally had a video pop off that is disturbing truth behind open floor plans. And it has like 39,000 views in the last month for him. And it's gotten him, I think, 4 leads, but it just shows you that it's like, oh, YouTube is one of those things where it's going to be a labor of love that you're putting out a video every week that doesn't feel like it's getting anything, a few views here and there. And then eventually you can have one that pops and then that one consistently goes. And then for him, like he's focused on, future of real estate in Lynchburg, Virginia, best hiking trails in Lynchburg, Virginia. Like he's doing little YouTube videos, but we're already starting to see it pay off. So even for our own Acre Brothers Realty, I was like, oh man, we got to really get on YouTube. And it's showing in this client base too, that's taking this survey, is missing out. There's so much opportunity.
I mean, 2%, like the field is wide open. And whenever anybody says, we just had Shannon Manjan on, who is an Austin agent, the episode you weren't on, Jason, one of our best episodes of all time, actually.
Of course it was.
Shannon said, one of the things that a lot of agents fear is that if there's an agent in your market that's already crushing it with YouTube, so say you're already in Austin and Jeremy Knight has the best Austin YouTube channel, then should you not compete in it? And the answer is, of course not, because you could go deeper on different subjects. So what Shannon is doing is she is doubling down on neighborhoods that she wants to work in and that she works in. So when you search a specific neighborhood, Shannon has 5 or 6 videos about that, as opposed to someone else that may have a bigger audience, but is not actually, is covering more broad topics, doing the 5 reasons you should move to Austin, 5 reasons you shouldn't move to Austin, because now they're diving deep with Shannon on these episodes. Jason, you have a look about you of, is it slight confusion? Is it skepticism? What is it?
Is that a Chiefs Super Bowl shirt from the Super Bowl they beat the 49ers in? Are you wearing a Super Bowl from the 2 years ago? How dare you?
I believe this is when they beat the Eagles. This is the Taylor Swift Super Bowl.
Not according to my Google right here, where it says LV.
You know what? It is the
trying to tie it all together,
Super Bowl.
but he's
This is
not
called.
a true
I am.
fan, you know.
I'm tying it all together. This is the ultimate trend, Jack, because on the back, look at this.
How dare? Yeah, this is the Vegas Super Bowl where they beat us. How
it's Taylor Swift on the back.
Dare you? Okay, sorry. Go on.
I was wondering when you were going to notice that.
Continue your freaking terrible point.
Well, apologies, Jason, but I hate to bring up bad memories, but it is a trend, Jack Luke. I am wearing. This is called a visual hook, so I'm tying in together the entire podcast here. So I thought that was really important. Yeah. Anyway, LinkedIn 2.76%. So not too
TikTok
many people.
Was lower than I thought, by the way.
0.9% on TikTok, which I think is just absolutely ridiculous.
Maybe it could skew in again to the results here. 10 plus years in the business means you're probably in your late 30s, but I mean, TikTok maybe more for the 20s, but still, like, that's not, I mean, I would have thought much higher than 0.9%.
Yeah. And then I'll just break these down without sharing, but tools and planning analytics. So 47% are using AI regularly. Only 21% are using AI occasionally. Everybody, or 14%, plans to use AI a little bit more, and 17% aren't using AI at all. Here's an interesting stat. 61% of agents are doing it all themselves. So that means no content platform, no video help, no editing whatsoever. 15% are using a content platform like Reminder Media, like BAMX, like Coffee and Contracts. And then marketing agency, 11% are using marketing agencies, and the 9% have full-time marketing people as well. All right, here is another really interesting stat. I'm going to share my screen for this one because this one is about email marketing. So 27% of agents do not use email marketing. Over a quarter of agents are not using email marketing. And among those who do, over half send emails monthly or less frequently, while only 19% engage in more consistent communication weekly or twice a month. So everything that we've been talking about on this podcast for years, email marketing, YouTube, two of the most important forms of lead gen and touching base with your clients, agents just aren't doing.
This one jumped out to me. I was waiting to talk about it. This is dumb. As a real estate agent, I don't understand how you're not using email marketing. I'm not saying like sending out a weekly newsletter thing. I mean, that's fine, but you're not even sending out an email once a month. I mean, it was 75% of people are sending not at all or less than once a month.
It's crazy.
Like, what are you doing? Yep. What's the a Tom Toolism, but the meat and potatoes of your whole business is picking up the phone and sending emails. Like, what are you doing?
Yep. And then look at this. Only 13% of agents have run paid social media ads, while 35% do so occasionally. So only 13% of agents are actually running paid social media ads, which also blew my mind.
This one is a little bit less. I mean, I get it. Like, maybe you just, again, if you're not seeing leads, you don't see the value, you don't see spending money, you know what I mean? Whatever. Like, obviously it's an untapped, underpriced arbitrage. You should be spending money there. The three of us would all probably tell you that you should be spending money there. I can't get over the email one though.
Yeah. Well, what it shows to me is that there is just such a pain point in the industry that everybody gets paralysis by analysis, and they're thinking about what to do instead of realizing that doing something is better than nothing. And in any progression in business and in life, it's iteration. It's never completion, right? So you start the email and you iterate on it based upon tracking your insights, right? Tracking your analytics, all that stuff. And so I always just challenge people. It's like, you need to be in contact way more than you think you do. How often are you getting hit in emails from the clothing stores? I mean, it is freaking every day. These stores hit you up in email. It's like, you've got to think about it that way. It's like, I think you should have a weekly email going out. Definitely. I think you should be, worrying less about all the quality, because you'll never win that game. You need to start and then respond based upon how your audience responds. And that's the only way and that's like the practicality, because the knowledge and the theory is, get a great hook, get the greatest content, and everybody's going to coach you to that. And that's true. But in practicality, it's like, hey, just get an email out this week and then watch the open rates and then do it again next week and try something else and do it again, and just consistency will win all day long.
I'm just looking, as we were talking, I just jumped into my follow-up boss, which is where I sent out my email blast yesterday. 674 recipients. This is like not the lead pond lead, just my actual like core database. 674 with 326 unique opens, 509 total opens. So 51% open rate. Like what platform are you getting 50% open rate on your database? Nothing.
And you control it. You own the email list.
I own it. I control it.
Thing in business.
100%. I can go to my recent activity now. I have a list of everybody who's opened my email, and like those who opened it more than once. I'm seeing people who clicked on it and viewed their home dashboard. Like it's the best. I don't understand what people are doing. 75% of people aren't doing it more than one time a month. What the heck?
Yep. So don't mind this. This is probably my favorite takeaway from the study. It says, we asked the favorite social media follows. Number 1, the broke agent / Bam. Number 2,
I told
Sharon.
Jesse, our content director and everything, I said, did you just prop him up first? Is that what you did?
100%. This is so skewed.
Number 3, Ryan Serhant. Number 4, Tom Ferry. Number 5, Glenda Baker. Number 6, Ricky Caruth sliding in there.
Was this a multiple choice where people radio buttoned it, or did they write in?
You could do both.
I think you could do both. Select multiple.
Was Eric's name in bold and first on the list?
Yeah.
My name was the only name on the list, and then you could write in everything else. Let us know who your favorite follow in the real estate business is in the comments. And we have this entire survey for you. We're going to send it out today. We're doing a blog on it. A ton of interesting information there that really shows you where you could focus your business on to stand out from the other agents. Email, paid ads, YouTube, TikTok, and people still using Facebook. And make sure you have those personal posts, because that's what's getting the most engagement. All right, I got to get into Marketer of the Week. I have 3 of them. We're going to run through these really quick. Number 1, let's play this video from Matt Leonetti. I thought this was a brilliant listing video.
I love it. I commented on there. It's just a great social media video, because it's not super long. It's one single shot. She started at the kitchen table, walked outside, the camera followed, flipped around her, and showed the house. And so like,
and the hook is great. The view.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see a great view.
So sometimes like we get in we overthink it, and it's like, we got to do like 700 scenes of fast paced cuts and everything like that. And it's just, sometimes it's just like, show me the view in the house. That's it. I mean, it's not like, the social portion is not to sell the house. It's just to drum up interest and like get, you know what I mean? So like, I don't need to see the floor plan. I don't need to see every closet and every bathroom. Just what's this house known for? It's pretty sick. It's got a great view.
Yep. The POV style.
I just have to comment,
Instagram
Matt
style.
Leonetti, he is known for all the hilarious stuff and is funny in the industry. And yet that is like the luxury brand. So to see his name on like the luxury brand, like, hey, that's sick.
That place is a castle too. Yeah. I don't know if you saw the original listing video, but I think we played it on the walkthrough, right? As a potential Bammy.
Last week, I think.
Yeah, it's an amazing listing video, but it's just such an easy way to cut it up. Just POV, this is your view in the morning. That POV style works perfect for Instagram and TikTok. There's no words even being said. So as Jason said, highlight a feature of the house where you can do that. POV, this is where you eat breakfast. POV, you're having dinner on the roof at your new house. And that's all it is. You're just highlighting one feature. Brilliant work there by Matt Leonetti.
Job, Matt.
Number 2, another brilliant marketer. He goes by the name of Neil Dingra. He posted a video, but I want to see if you guys appreciate kind of the hook to what he's actually trying to get into with the message.
All right, guys, we have breaking news from former Vice President Kamala Harris. She has come out and said that she is not going to be seeking any political office in the near future, not the governor of California or any of those rumors. But here's the part that everybody is missing out here. Check this out. If you zoom in here, is that one of those ChatGPT long dashes? I mean, this is crazy, bro. You got to remove the dash when you're using AI to help you write stuff. And by the way, I believe you should use AI to help you scale your communication, but don't forget to remove the dash. And I'm sure that Republicans and Democrats are doing this. This is not one, I'm not picking on one side, but everybody out there, do yourself a favor. If you're going to be using AI, just remove that long dash before you hit post, okay? You're welcome.
Great hook, because you think he's talking about Kamala Harris, which you know is going to be one of the most divisive things ever. So you're already locked into the post because you're like, oh my God, Neil's about to break down some political thing. He says breaking news. He has great audio to it. His content is just so clean and effective. But it's about M dashes in ChatGPT, which was such a great point. Anytime you see those, you immediately get turned off from the content because you just know this person just spat it out through ChatGPT.
By the way, it takes 3 seconds. Go into your custom GPT or go into your instructions and just say, don't use M dashes on any of your answers. And then you're done.
Yep. Great tip. I just had a candidate that applied for a high level role here. We did an interview with, and they sent a email following up and it had the dashes in it. And I'm just like,
dead giveaway.
It's like, dude, you wrote it with, AI, which I don't mind, but I mind that you weren't thoughtful enough to actually remove the dashes.
Correct. Absolutely correct.
But I saw that post just naturally in my feed with Neil, and it hooked me in because of that exact reason. I was just like, oh, wait, what is he going to say here? And it's like such a great hook.
My wife gives me, a few chores, activities around the house that I need to do. And she handles most of the logistics and everything, but I'm trying to step up, right? So she said, you handle communication with the dog walker. So I had to give her 2 weeks that we have weddings and then another golf trip that I'm going on. And I was like worried about sending this text message because I just needed to frame it correctly. So I threw out my ideas in ChatGPT and then sent it to her. And it's like this perfect breakdown of when we're going to be gone. But there's M dashes and it's so clear as written in ChatGPT. And Anne immediately texted me saying, did you just ChatGPT that text to our dog walker? I'm like, yeah. Sure and did. It was semi-effective. So, but you're right about taking that extra step. Just remove them. So at least the person feels like you're trying.
Yeah.
For that communication. All right. Third marker of the week. Let's pull this up. This is one of the most brilliant pieces of content maybe I've ever seen in my entire life. Oh, what do you know? It's BAM. This is me. I came up with this. So,
shocker.
This is a post about BAM Camp happening September 24th. We have 20 tickets left. I said, instead of just posting, so Sharon is now a speaker at BAM Camp. Instead of just posting, announcing the fact that he is speaking, I said, true story. This is a text conversation that actually happened. Swipe. I screenshotted the text conversation. It's Sharon asking if he would like to speak at BAM Camp. And of course we would want him to speak at BAM Camp, but that just shows the humble nature of how Sharon approaches these situations. And then I swiped to the speaker announcement and the call to action. This is, got a decent amount of engagement for an announcement post, but I used this content in an email and in an Instagram carousel post because the email, instead of saying new speaker announcement, Sharon is now speaking at BAM Camp, I said, I just got this text. You won't believe who just texted me, right? The intrigue that provides as a carousel hook is a great way to kind of introduce your content. So I'm not just saying this to pat myself on the back. I'm being facetious, obviously, but thank you. And it resulted in a bunch of ticket sales, and it's way better than just doing an announcement thing. So maybe real estate agents can use this sort of tactic where it's like, you'll never guess what just happened to me. And then that's the initial carousel.
Texts are the best though. We talk about voyeur content a little bit on the show, but it's kind of like that, but and we've talked about this in, I've shown a couple texts of clients saying something to me happy, right? They're like, oh, thank you so much. This was great, right? It's so much better than the canned client testimonial that people post all the time. If you just screenshot the text, and I mean, to a point, don't put any private information there, but if you can just show the little part that's a real interaction that actually happened on the text, so much better.
Yeah, that applies to, that's a great point. It applies to reviews too. You can make review templates, or you can just screenshot the Google review, screenshot and it's so much more powerful because it feels more real. And it helped in your post, Eric, that Sharon said he's now going to think before he sends you text messages and think about
100%. And Byron commented saying, please don't ever release our text conversations. And I'm consciously thinking that because I'm like, all right, if BAM keeps kind of going in the trajectory that I think it's going to, eventually my texts could get exposed.
You could come up with discovery in a class action lawsuit.
They would absolutely bury me.
What is the saying? Write nothing down, but write everything down. The only things that you want to be used, you write down. Everything else you do not write down.
Exactly. I do just want to emphasize though that these things. So if you have a good idea, that's a good email subject line. That's a good intro for a carousel post. That's a good idea for a hook for a video. So repurpose content that is working for you. If you have an Instagram post that did really well, use that hook as the subject line for your email. And a lot of people might see the same thing and kind of get tired by it, but at the same time, no one's really paying that much attention. So make sure you do that. So that is the social media survey. That is the Taylor Swift hype. Those are the marketers of the week. Luke, one of the great things about this social media survey is that Reminder actually solves a majority of these problems in terms of consistency, Facebook ads, mailers, sending emails, basically everything that
you can
went
pay
down
us
in
to
this
call
study.
you every day and yell at you to inspire.
100%.
Sounds great. Might need that.
Sounds like a dream. Yeah, no, yeah, that is yeah, it's exciting. I mean, it shows, I mean, that's why we're in business, right? Because there's a need, there's a pain point. In business, if you want to grow a business, you guys know this, more than anybody. It's like you got to get leverage. Leverage comes from either hiring people or employing systems, right? So Reminder Media is kind of both, is we have a system, but we also have people on our side that will do the work for you. When it comes to like email, there's emails we have. So we have local content emails, we have email newsletters, we have a digital magazine for your own digital magazine that you can send. So it's like, you just need to find, it doesn't have to be a Reminder Media. It could be a Coffee and Contracts. They're amazing. Could be so many businesses out there. But the key is you need to employ leverage and stop lying to yourself that you're going to get to it, because you're not going to get to it. And now you feel bad about yourself, and that demotivates you, and that reduces your activity. And it's a vicious cycle. And so, hey, step up, put a little check equity on the line, because it will make you even more accountable, and hire some people or leverage some systems to get it done for you.
Exactly. And there's a link down below in the description and in the pinned comments to check out Reminder Media. That's a hell of an episode, boys. 150 likes. If you've got this far, leave us a like. Go follow Luke at Luke Akery. Go follow Jason Cassidy. Leave this video a like and leave a comment. What do you think was the most interesting part of the survey? And do you have any social tips for us? Remember, if you like and leave a comment, Jason and I will do a free Zoom if this hits 150 likes. We'll see you next week on the walkthrough. Go Chiefs.